We continue a Vedic reader for students by Arthur A. Macdonell. Here is the abbreviation list. Hymn of the Gambler. This is one among the secular hymns, as if there could be such a thing, of a group of 4, which have a didactic character. It is the lament of a gambler who isn't able to resist the fascination of the dice, implores the ruin he has brought on himself and his family. The dice, akshas, consisted of the nuts of a large tree called the Vedic terminali Valerica, which is still utilized for this purpose in India. 1034 meter Krishtub 7 Jagati Pravetta ma Brhatto ma Deyante Pravateja Irne Varvardhanah Sumasyeva Maujavatasya Bhaksho Vibidako Jagrvir Mahyam Achan, the dangling ones, born in a windy place, of the lofty tree, gladden me as they roll on the dice board, like the draught of the soma from Mu Javant. The enlivening Bidaka has pleased me. Var Vrtanas int puff of Vert turn Ma Ujavatasya, coming from Mount Ujavant as the best. Achan, third S aorist of Chand, page 164, 5 verbs meaning to please. Take the dative. Verse 2. Nama mimeta na jehiala asha seva sakibya utamahyamasit akshasyaham ekaparasya hetor anuvratam apa jayam arodham. She does not scold me. She is not angry. She was kind to friends and to me. For the sake of a die too high by one, I have driven away a devoted wife. Mimetha, puff of myth, dispute. Jehilda, puff of heed, be angry. Sep, page 3, F and 2. Sakibyas, dative, page 313. 3, Eka Parasya, according to the accent, this is a tup adj, exceeding by 1, alluding to an unlucky throw called kala, in which, when the number of dice thrown is divided by 4, one remains over, while the best throw, the krta, nothing remains over. Apa, arodham, the root aorist of rudh, obstruct. The meaning of the stanza is rejecting the kindly advice of my wife, I gambled and lost. 5. 3. Kind of smudged print. Dvechtes vasur apajaya runande nanateto vindate marditaram asvasyeva jarato vasneasya. My mother-in-law hates me, my wife drives me away, the man in distress finds none to pity him. I find no more use in a gambler than in an aged horse that is for sale. Appa Runadde, third S per of Rud, turns him away when he asks for money to gamble with. Nathitas, the gambler speaks of himself in the third person. Asvasya Eva, agreeing with Kitavasya. Charatas, per put of Jar, waste away. Kitavasya, Bogam, objective genitive, page 320, uppercase b, lowercase b. 4. Anyajayam parimrsante asya yasyang vrdad vedanevaje akshah pitamata bratara ennamahur najanimo Nayata bandam stam. Others embrace the wife of him, for whose possessions the victorious die has been eager. Father, mother, brothers, save him. We know him not, lead him away bound. Agdat, a aorist of grd, be greedy, governing Vedana, locative of the object, page 325, 1c, Vaji, to be read with a short final, page 437, lowercase a, 4, sep, page 441, 4a, the accent, page 450, b. Ahur, puff of a, say, Janimas, one pulper of shna, no, Nayata, accented as beginning a new sentence, page 466, 19a, the final vowel metrically lengthened, page 441, line 2, Badam as a depter. 5. Yada divya nada vishane eve parayandyo abahiya sakhibya neuptascha babravo vacham akratam amiresham nishkritam charaniva. When I think to myself, I will not go with them. I should be left behind by my friends as they depart to play. And the brown ones thrown down, having raised their voices, I go straight like a courtesan to their place of assignation. Diva, first S per A of the, think. Divishanne, ish, aorist, sub of do, go, of which other forms occur in the AA and the Yajurveda. Some scholars think the sense of play to be so necessary that this must be in a regular form. Ish, aorist, sub, from div, play, like a thavisham in a sutra, from shativ, split, a bes with the friends, of a hiya, pus of one ha, leave, I'm left behind, with ebel, sep 201, a1, uptas, pup of vap, strew, Akrata, third plural root aorist of kr, extended because still dependent on yod. Here we have a jagati pada, interposed in a trishtubha stanza, set page 445, F and 7. The same expression, vacham, skrata, ending a pada in 703, 8, produces a jagati pada in a trishtubha stanza. The final vowel of a verb is here nasalized to avoid the hiatus at the end of the pada. Sep 135, 6a, 829, 6a, see page 23, F and 1, Emma id, I go at once, ashum of the dice. Number 6. Savamete ketava perchamano jashyamite tanua sus ujanah akshasu asya veterante kamam pratedivne davata akrtane. The gambler goes to the assembly hall, asking himself, shall I conquer? Trembling with his body, the dice run counter to his desire, bestowing on his adversary at play the lucky throws. Tanva, accent, page 450, 2b, sujanas, as is put is the only form of the verb occurring and is itself found in one other passage, also with tanva. Its exact meaning is doubtful, but it must express either fear or confidence. Tirante, third plural pronoun of ter, cross. Pratidivan, dek, 93, dat, with verbs of giving. 200, uppercase A, 1, davatas, noun plural per put of the, 156, page 181, top agreeing with the akshasas, with the prep following, page 462, 13, AA, kirtane, probably in the specific sense of the highest throws, kirtan. Kirtan. 7. Akshasa, id, unkuthino, nitodino, nikrdvanas, tapanas, tapayishnavah, kumaradashna, jayatah, punarhanno, madhva, sampraktah, ketavasya, barhanna. The dice are hooked, piercing, deceitful, burning, and causing to burn, presenting gifts like boys, striking back the victors, sweetened with honey by magic power over the gambler. Tapayishnavas, causing the gambler to pain others by his losses. Kumara deshnas, giving gifts and then taking them back like children. Punarhanas, winning back from the winner, equivalent in sense to the preceding word. Samve, 65b, sampriktas, pup of prch, mixed. Barhana, inst, s, page 77, with the objective genitive 320. 8. Trepanchasa, kriyalate, vrata, asham, deva, eva, savita, satya, dharma, ugrasya, chinmanya, vednanamante, raja, chin, evyo, nama, it, krnaute. They're a host of 350s plays like the Light Being Sevetter, whose laws are true, they bow not before the wrath of even the mighty. Even a king pays them obeisance. Trepanchasas. The evidence is in favor of interpreting this word as meaning consisting of 3 50s, not consisting of 53, as the number of dice normally used. Well, don't you get like 56 combinations if you got 3, 3 six-sided dice, and you end up with 21 combinations for just 2? But so the game takes 53 dice. I don't know why they picked that number, but Deva Iva Savita. The point of comparison is that the action of the dice is independent of the will of others, as the action of Savitar, who observes fixed laws of his own. 753, 4, 10, 139, 3, and whose will and independent domain no being, not even Indra, Varuna, Mitra, Aryaman, Rudra can resist. 2, 38, 7, 9, 582, 2, Na, the only example in the Rig Veda of the metrical lengthening of Na. Namante, Namas, with dot, page 311, K, and 312, 2a. 9. Nicha, Vartana, Upari. Okay, let me try to sing it. Nicha, Vartanta, Upare, Spurante, Ahastaso hastavantam sahante devya angara irne neutah seitah santo herdayam nirda ante. They roll down, they spring upwards. Though without hands they overcome him that has hands. Divine coals thrown down upon the gaming board being cold, they burn up the heart. Every pada in this stanza contains an antithesis. Nicha upari. Ahas tasah has tavantam devya irene Sita Nir Dahanta Divyas, alluding to their magic power over the gambler. Sep Burhanna and 7D Anangaras. The dice are compared with bits of charcoal lying in a hollow. Sep Sub 53110 Ede Devannam va Agnis Tasya ete Angara Yad Aksha. The gaming board is fire, the dice are its coals. There's games of skill and all that sort of stuff, but games of chance, for example, are forbidden in Islam. But there's no penalty. There's nobody taking your dice or whatever. But then again, the use of dice in itself doesn't mean that it's a game of chance. But that prevents from a lot of stuff, right? If you think that rolling a dice or shuffling cards is somehow, because it falls in this pattern versus this pattern, is that this will be your future rather than this. It's like, if it makes you think, it makes you think. If it makes other people think, it makes other people think. But that other stuff, no. And, games of chance, leading to gambling. So, you don't play Chutes and Ladders with your daughter or whatever, but, or your son or whatever game a parent plays. That's just, get your kids used to using their minds and stuff, just, instead of just something that there's no development in their playing that game, just drop it. 10. Jaya tapyate kitavasya hinamata putrasya charata kuasvit Rnava bivyad dhanam ichamano anyashamastam upanaktam ete. Forsaken, the wife of the gambler is grieved, the mother, too, of the son that wanders, who knows where, indebted, fearing, desiring money, he approaches at night the house of others. Hina, pup of ha, leave. Putrasya, the gambler. Tapyate must be supplied with mata. Rnava, lengthening of a final A before a V, 15-1C. Bibyat, pronoun put of B, fear. Upa ete, probably for the purpose of stealing, to explain C. Naktam, C 178 to 195, uppercase A, 5, lowercase a, 11. Streyam drshtvaya ketavam tatapa anyasham jayam sukritam cha yonim purvahne asvan yuyuje hebabrun soagnir ante vershalah papada. It pains the gambler when he sees a woman, the wife of others, and their well-ordered home, since he yokes the brown horses in the morning. He falls down in the evening, near the fire, a beggar. And nowadays, it's kind of, a lot of it's put in terms that people don't quite understand. Yes, it's when people pay for elective insurance. There's a gambling involved there. And I'm specifically referring to, oh, well, you have to keep your house in order, and you have to make sure that the person you're getting life insurance doesn't do any of the things that would disqualify the policy, and the policy has to be perfectly paid, or you don't, so it's a gamble, period. To top and the stock market. The stock market, if it was portions of a company, then be investment. But if the announcements, regardless of the value of the company, what it's done and what it's currently doing, can go up or down because of the announcements, regardless of what the company's actually worth in that portion, then that's proof that the stock market's gambling and stuff too. So, tatapa, used impersonally with the this and the following two perfects may be translated as presents because they express habitual actions continued into and included in the per 213, uppercase a, lowercase a. Drshtvaya, good of dearths. C, agreeing with kitavam as the virtual subject, 210. Streyam, 88, and then that Greek B thing, because on the the straight line part of the B, it has that little, that it extends further. Jayam, as apposition, a woman who is the wife of others, that is, when he sees the wives of others and their comfortable homes, he is reminded of the unhappiness of his own wife and the barrenness of his own home. Asvan, the brown dice, are here figuratively called horses, which he yokes, that is, he begins a long spell of gambling with them. Papada, he consequently falls down, exhausted and overcome, on the ground beside the fire in the evening, having lost everything, which is usually the case. People say, well, I could never have had more, but you gave away what you had. If you're not taking care of things at home because you're paying some policy or because you're buying lottery tickets or something, because those add up through the year. $100 here, it's just a couple $100 a year. It's like, well, yeah. 12. Yova Sananir Mahato Ganasya Raja Vratasya prathamo babhuva tasmae kranome anavana ruadne das aham prachis tad tam vadame. To him who, as the general of your great throng, as king has become the first of your hosts, I stretch forth my 10 fingers. I withhold no money. This is the truth, I say. And, of course, there's the thing of, well, people figure, oh, I'll just be the person who can set a budget and all that other stuff. But by putting that forward, there's going to be plenty of people that if they didn't go down the route of, I can just spend a couple bucks a week, I'll be fine, it would have never became a much bigger problem in that case. And then, of course, they factor in everybody else is doing it. So, Yova. No specific die is meant, the expression only implying a chief in the abstract of the total number of the dice played with. Dasa, Knome, Krachi. I put the 10 fingers forward, that is, I stretch out my 2 hands. Prachis, puff, F of prunch, used predicatively. 198-1, while making wild guesses about the future, like you somehow know something. That's one of the things that happens. But 198-1, tasma'e, that of advantage. 200b1 na dhana. Un avme, that is, I have no money left for you. These words, in sense, come after prachis, expressing what is implied by that gesture, tam, predicative. 13. Akshayir madivyah krishem it krishasva viteramasva bahu manyamanah tatragavah kittava tatrajaya tanme vichashte savitayam aryah. Play not with dice, ply thy tillage, rejoice in thy property, thinking much of it. There are thy cattle, O gambler, there thy wife. This, Savitr here, the noble reveals to me. The stanza is spoken by the gambler who, in A to C, quotes the advice of Savitr. Divyas, second inge of div, play with the ma, page 240. Ramasva, with the locative, 204, 1a. Tatra, cattle and wife, can be regained by acquiring wealth. Chashta, third s per of chaksh, me, dot 200, uppercase a, lowercase c. Ayam, as actually present. Aryas, noble, upholder of moral law. 14. Metram karnavam kalu marlata no mano gorena charata be darshnu nevonu manur visatam aratir anyo babrunam prasetaunu astu. Pray, make friendship be gracious to us. Do not forcibly bewitch us with magic power. Let your wrath, your enmity, now come to rest. Let another now be in the toils of the brown ones. Mrlata, both of those letters after the M being cerebrals versus roll. Second plural imperative of murd. Page 3, number 2, accented as beginning a new sentence with final vowel metrically lengthened. Nas, that page 311, F. Charata abe with the preposition following the verb, page 468, 20a. Drshnu, accent adv, page 301b. In this final stanza, the gambler adjures the dice to release him from the magical power. And so